Last week, Sako and I went to visit one of our families who just had their fourth child. And as we were holding this baby, actually I say we, as Sako was holding this baby, she asked if I wanted to hold him, and I said, no, he's so tiny and delicate. I love babies, I love children, but I like them when they get a little bit of meat on them. He was so petite, he's looked so fragile. I know how to hold babies, but there's always that consciousness, as I'm sure many people have, of the gentleness that is required. That gentleness means power restrained. Gentleness is required when we have a strength or a power that the person that we're touching or ministering to or speaking to or interacting with does not have. So every time you see that we're told to have gentleness in the Bible, it's mentioned along with dealing with people that are weaker, that are broken, that are hurting, that are needy. When you have the great power, with God, He gives you the gentleness required to restrain that power so that you can touch people that are broken and don't have the power. He treats us like that little infant that is so fragile, so delicate. If you've ever seen a picture of a malnourished child, you know, they're so skinny they look like you could breathe on them and they could break. That's the way we are in this world when we're trying to feed ourselves and take care of ourselves and find value in things that have no value. But He loves us so much, He takes us when we're that starving infant, delicately lifts us up, breathes on us, begins to nourish us, holds us close to His chest, gives us hope, gives us a new name, a new identity, that we are no longer that famine child, that we are a child of the Most High, Almighty, All-Powerful, Noble, Royal God. And we carry that with us now. This morning, I was reading Psalm 73, and in that psalm, the psalmist is really complaining through most of the psalm. He has all these questions and frustrations until he steps into the sanctuary of God. And then things begin to make sense. And in verse 21 through 24, he says, "Then I realized that my heart was bitter, and I was all torn up inside. I was so foolish and ignorant. I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you. Yet I still belong to you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, leading me to a glorious destiny." This is just one of the many pictures of gentleness throughout the Bible. The gentleness of our God. The fact that when we are so full of bitterness and it comes out in all kinds of ways, and frustration and anxiety and stress, still, God in His great love takes hold of our hand like His small child and leads us forward into a glorious destiny. This is God's gentleness. Instead of dealing with us in the way that we deserve because of our foolishness, because of our ignorance, because of the way we're lashing out and blaming Him even, instead of responding with a harshness, He instead reaches out in gentleness and leads us forward, never losing hope, never losing sight of the reason why He made us and the wonderful future He has for us. That's why He wraps up and restrains His power, because He never loses vision for our lives. So He expresses gentleness to lead us forward into that vision. That is such a beautiful picture. Now we have the Holy Spirit in us, and we are called to be like our Father. Get vision for the people around us. Get vision for their lives. Get a glimpse of the glorious destiny that they have. And then in gentleness, no matter what junk they're going through or holding on to, or the frustrations they're dealing with, the anxieties and the stresses upon them, we gently take their hand and help them to move forward. Baby steps are still steps. Baby steps are still movement. Little steps are still progress. And we're called to have this gentleness necessary to help with those steps.